Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rahaha Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Rule will have been a great example to his younger brothers in the truth, and peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. And as you see in the photo, what our ancestors were doing 4th of July, 1776. And we know yesterday was the 4th of July, so-called Independence Day. And our people were out popping firecrackers, shooting their guns, celebrating the 4th of July, the independence that America gained from Britain. But you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you didn't gain any independence during the 4th of July. Matter of fact, like the scriptures say in the book of Baruch, yet this day in your captivity where you shall be subject unto payments. You know? But this what our ancestors were doing on the 4th of July, 1776. They were picking cotton. Not only cotton, but whatever they were serving the so-called white man. They wasn't only picking cotton, they were picking peas and every other thing that they slave owners was growing. You know? They were still getting shipped to and fro throughout the earth on slave ships. They were being sold on auction blocks still. The family was being separated. We were damn near at the height of the curses, man. You know? So this what our people were doing in July, the 4th of July, 1776. You know? And you niggas celebrate it like it's a victory for you. That's not a victory for you because we still oppressed. We still here under the same people who brought us here in captivity and under the same people who came here and stole our land and stole the land from the Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters, man. You know? And you celebrate all these Edomites. You niggas quick to condemn the Bible and say, oh, that's the white man book. But you dumb niggas celebrate every holiday that the white man give you niggas, man. Juneteenth. Oh, let's celebrate that. Thanksgiving. Oh, let's celebrate that. Halloween, Christmas. You niggas celebrate every holiday that the white man celebrate. But then say the Bible is the white man book. A man wrote that book. Well, man gave you niggas the 4th of July. Man gave you niggas Christmas. Man gave you niggas the New Year. So what's the difference? And that's why the Lord gonna mess our people up. But that's enough on that. I just wanted to put that image up there. I'm gonna get this precept. This is the book of Jeremiah, not Jeremiah. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. I will also reject. Let me reread it. This Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I also forgot thy children. You know, so and since our people want to reject the knowledge that's being poured out through the Lord's men, through his servants, to bring them back unto him, you know, being that us being the, you know, ultimately the mediators between our people and Yahweh Shai in the earth, man. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai in the earth, bringing our people back to the understanding, the remembrance of who we are, the knowledge of who we are, the knowledge of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, the true understanding of the Bible, this holy book that's written to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the seed of Israel, the sons and daughter of the man who was once called Jacob, and later his name was changed to Israel. And Israel in the Hebrew means Yasha, he prince of the power. We are the sons and daughters of the living power, man. And the reason we in the predicament you seen in that beginning picture is because we went off from the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord presented before us, written in Deuteronomy 28. No, I mean, we under those curses that written in Deuteronomy 28, but we went off from the laws, statutes, and commandments that was presented to us by King Moses, because that was the first king, by Moses, when he went up to Mount Sinai and got the tablets or the laws, and he brought them back to the nation of Israel. We went off from that first covenant. And the Lord punished us as he said he would do if we didn't keep the words that Moses presented, the law, statutes, commandment that Moses presented unto us. And we agreed with a blood covenant, and we broke that covenant. So the Lord followed up on his side of the deal if we don't do what he say we gonna do. Don't do what he commanded of us to do after we made that blood covenant. And it was meant to happen. The Lord wanted it to happen. But the Lord always had in mind to have mercy on us and bring us into a second covenant to where we are changed to be able to keep the laws perfect. And we won't go off. The laws would be written in our inward parts to where it'll be first nature, like blinking. Or you get hungry, you eat. You got to use the restroom, you use it. That's how keeping the law is going to be in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to be it's going to be impossible for an Israelite to sin. It's going to be impossible for an Israelite to break the laws, statutes, and commandments that were presented to us by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, through his friend, his servant, his son Moses. And that's the mercy and that's the mercy that the Lord is going to have upon his people. Even those who are going to die on this side because they're not going to repent and turn back to the Lord, because they scoff against the men of the Lord. Even they are going to receive the promise that's promised to the nation of Israel. And that's an everlasting kingdom and everlasting life. Meaning we're going to be immortal in this new covenant that the Lord is going to present before us. We're going to have spiritual power. We're not going to die. We're going to have wealth beyond a man's imagination. We're going to, the kingdom of heaven that the Bible speak of is going to be on earth. We're going to have slaves. We're going to have all those things that a king in his domain have. Just like we in Esau's kingdom, that's how we going to be in our kingdom. We serving unto this man to this day. Everybody in the earth is a servant to the international bankers. We up underneath them. We're subjugated to them through debt. Debt slaves, as they call them. But that's pretty much the point. I got that one little video. Played it.
1976, the Declaration of Independence was signed, marking the colonists' bold step toward independence from Great Britain. But for many...
Yeah, and that's another thing you niggas was doing. You were fighting. You fought this man war and helped him get the victory over himself, ultimately, for America to gain its independence. And you didn't get a fair shake you were still enslaved afterwards. You may had a few incidents where men was able to get free, but for the most part, majority of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans remained in hardcore bondage. And you fought this man war, and the Lord say he hate a man of war who suffered poverty, man. So that's a condemnation to you Edomites, you so-called white people, in this whole system. Because it's time and time again where men of war suffer poverty at the hands of these Edomites, man.
Black Americans, this momentous occasion was bittersweet. As the ink dried on that parchment, thousands of black men and women remained enslaved. Their lives were bound by chains, their dreams stifled by oppression. Yet, even in the face of adversity, black Americans played pivotal roles during this critical time. At least 5,000 black men fought alongside their white counterparts in the Continental Army. They believed that freedom from Britain would ultimately lead to their own liberation from slavery. These brave souls, like Crispus Attucks, Peter Salem, and Salempore, risked everything for a cause that promised liberty for all. But let us not forget that the struggle for freedom was far from straightforward. Independence Day was a national double-speak for black Americans. While white Americans celebrated their newfound political expression, they simultaneously upheld the enslavement of black people. Frederick Douglass, the renowned abolitionist, once declared, "This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn." His words echoed the painful truth. While some celebrated, others mourned the unfulfilled promise of liberty. So, what does the 4th of July mean to black Americans? It's complicated. It's a reminder of resilience, sacrifice, and the ongoing fight for justice. It's a day to honor those who dared to believe that freedom was their birthright. Today, we recognize the legacy of those who stood tall, even when the odds were stacked against them. We celebrate their courage, their endurance, and their unwavering commitment to a better future. To the black Americans who worked and fought for independence, we say, thank you. Your service, your sacrifices, lives, and your resilience have shaped our nation's story and infrastructure. The 4th of July may be complicated, but it remains a testament to the human spirit's unyielding quest for freedom. This video aims to honor the complexities of history and the contributions of black Americans during the American Revolution. Let us continue to learn, reflect, and work toward a more just and inclusive future.
And that's all Esau got for you niggas is a thanks and an American flag. You know, but we are the Lord's chosen people, and these curses only fit the so-called nation of Israel. But this the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. It say, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt not hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord..." So like, I just want to get it in the blue letter. This the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. It say, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt not hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee up." Let me reread that. I think I'm reading it wrong. It say, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken," mean listen, "diligently unto the voice of the Lord." This Moses speaking to the nation of Israel, the consequences of doing what the Lord say, and the consequences of not doing what the Lord commanded of us. So like it. So let me start back at the top. And we at the consequences of hearkening and listening and doing what the Lord said, obedience. Deuteronomy 28 and 1. It say, "And it shall come to pass, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh thy power will set thee upon high above all the nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power. And that's pretty much the point. We ain't got to go through the blessings. You want to go through the blessings, read 3 on down to 15. And we're going to jump to 15. Because these, here at 15, they go to the consequences of not hearkening. And from verse 16 on down to 68 is running down curses that the Lord will put on us over, starting at the point where we broke that covenant, because it ain't no set time where these curses were gonna cleave to. That they when we broke the covenant, the curses been whooping our ass ever since, man. And different curses ring better bells in different time periods. Like in the time period we in now, niggas ain't got vineyards and orchards and shit like that. We are destroyed people. We live in apartments, man. But it was a time where we had those things, man. But let's keep going. It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And this ultimately what we living through right now. And our people are rejecting this knowledge. Therefore the Lord gonna forget them and their children, man. It say, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. It say, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, going to your children, and the fruit of thy land, going into your crops, which niggas ain't got crops now, man. It say the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. Man, we don't have flocks and sheep. But it was a point of time where we had those things, man. And it was cursed. The Lord, that's why we ain't got it now, because we cursed. It say curse shall, because these Edomites, they have cows and pastors and sheep and goat and things of that nature, but we don't. We at the bottom now. We cursed in the city and in the field, man. It say, cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. When you born, you cursed, and when you leave this earth, you leave it cursed, man. And the Lord shall send upon thee cursings, and vexation, and rebuke, in all that thou settest thy hands unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Yeah, so the Lord got it to where if Jake doing something and he's so-called prospering and it's working out for him, a lot of time niggas be sold out, especially if they rich. I'm going to say if they rich, because the Lord will come through and let certain things work, and things work out all right for you, but you still be catching hell, shit be happening. You can tell that we under the curses, man. Just like Black Wall Street and shit like that. Jake was thriving, man. Jake, in those quick little couple of years after slavery, Jake had hospitals and schools and was doing better than Esau, man. During the Great Depression, niggas wasn't suffering because we was in that predicament from the jump. The Great Depression, that shit affected so-called Edomite Americans, not the so-called blacks. That wasn't affecting us. We was fucked up anyway. We was I ain't have a pot to piss in the window and throw it out anyway, man. But we were coming up in the earth until Esau seen it, and he was like, "Oh hell nah!" But that was the spirit. That's the curses following us. That's the Lord allowed that man to do the things that he done to us, man. Because we under the curses. So we put our hand to try to establish a Black Wall Street and all this old crazy shit. That shit come to naught because it ain't of the Lord. We here in punishment. We here to serve out a prison sentence, so to speak. And the Lord is going to redeem us and change us and make us perfect in the law and where we been presented the second covenant, man. It say, and the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until, I'm going to read this one in the NIV. It say, and the Lord will plague you with disease until he destroy you from the land you are entering to possess. But I'm going to read this one in KJV. It say, and the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land and whither thou goest to possess it. Yeah, so no matter what, you're going to be cursed, man. Verse 22, it say, and the Lord shall smite thee with a consumption I'm going to read this one in the NIV. It say, and the Lord will strike you with wasting disease, with fever and inflammation. That's the main reason. Inflammation is the main reason Jake be sick and fucked up. Gout and all this shit. That shit inflammation, man. And with scorching heat and drought, with blight and mildew, with which all plague you until you perish. So the Lord just put all manners of plagues upon us, man. Back in KJV, it say, and the Lord shall smite thee with the consumption and with fever and with an inflammation and with an extreme burning and with the sword and with blasting and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and under the earth that is under shall be iron. Verse 24, it say, and the Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust, and heaven and dust from heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. Verse 25, it say, and the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten with before thine enemy. You seen that, slavery, America being conquered, so-called natives being taken down, the northern kingdom shall be smite, and this happened in all the different captivity. They're being taken down by the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Roman Empire, the Greeks. We were smitten before our enemies, time and time again, man. It say, and the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies, Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and thou shalt be removed unto all kingdoms of the earth. And that's why we scout. That's why it's not a white or a black thing. And ultimately it really ain't even a Negro, Latino, or Native American thing, but that's the bulk of Israel, because amongst Negro, Latinos, and Native American, who you perceive to be Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, the enemy has sowed his seed. Just as if wherever we were scattered to and under all kingdoms of the earth, we sowed our seed. So it's not a white and a black thing. It's a bloodline thing, a seed of the Father thing, man. Verse 26, it say, and thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Verse 27, it say, and the Lord will smite thee with the blotch of Egypt. And the blotch of Egypt, it say, and the Lord, and this in NIV, it say, and the Lord will afflict you with boils of Egypt, and tumors, festering sores, and the itch, from which you cannot be cured. And man, come on, man. It say, and with hemorrhoids, and with the scab, and with itch, whereof thou cannot be healed. And these things cleave unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And this statistics, this ain't nothing we just making up. This is, if you go look up different diseases, plagues, you so-called African Americans gonna be at the top, and close second and third is gonna be so-called Native Americans, and Hispanics gonna be right behind it, vice versa. It's gonna be Hispanics right behind so-called Negro, which Native, we all the same people, and that's why we lead all those different things. Verse 28, it say, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and the astonishing of heart. And we're going to read it in the NIV. It say, and the Lord will afflict you with madness, blindness, and confusion of mind. Jake bugged the fuck out, man. Verse 29 in the KJV, it say, and thou shalt grope in the noonday as the blind grope in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. So nobody ever saved us from the hands of our enemy. Yeah, we ain't in hardcore bondage no more. No, we ain't working in the field, getting whipped, getting, you getting raped, robbed, murdered, butt broke, your wives ravished before you, your children ravished before you. No, that ain't happening no more. But you still in subjection to the same people who rounded you up on those ships. For those things to happen to you. You still underneath the same men who, brought you here against your will. You still underneath the same men who came and conquered your land through the sword, through rape, rob, murder, steal, killed, and destroyed you, man. For the so-called Northern Kingdom, you so-called indigenous people of America. You're still underneath this man on reservations. Nigga done put up a border in your land and told you a illegal alien, man. And you can't come to this land, but you were here first. And that's why the scriptures say Israel and Judah shall be oppressed together. And that's here in America where we were oppressed together in the last days. They put a border, A border through Texas, California, this the or Arizona, this the border. You can't come past. You're a Mexican, so-called Hispanic. You can't come past this border. We oppressed here, man. After they stole the land from you, then they told you can't. You an illegal alien, man. Verse 30, it say, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. And that happened time and time again during slavery. You begat a wife, and this man, your slave master, he'll come sleep with your wife before you even get to sleep with her, man. Let you marry a woman, and then before you even get to sleep with her, he sleep with her. And whenever he feel the need he want to sleep with her, he just come sleep with her, man. After you married. And he know this. That's why, man, we need we need a savior, man. And we need to be changed. Because Esau can't give you enough reparations to repair you, man. The only true reparations is us getting our lick back, man. Them going into captivity. Them going into chains. Them going into slavery. Them serving us. We not going to be butt breaking. We ain't going to do the wickedness that they did to us. But we going to get our lick back in righteousness, man. We going to do things that are righteous. We ain't going to, we ain't going to be doing evil wickedness. We going to punish them in righteous forms that's going to be far worse than the wicked shit that they was doing to us, man. And the Lord with that. It say, verse 30, it say, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof. And that's slavery. You build these Edomite plantation homes, and nigga built the White House and everything, man. You ain't live and dwell in those places. You was in a fucking in a shack with no flow in it, man. With holes in the wall. Verse 31, it say, thine ox shall be slain before thee, before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine asses shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and thou shalt not be restored, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemy, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Yeah, and these devils came and stole everything you had and put you into slavery, man. And that's a kind of like what they did with the buffalo. They starved the natives out, and they killed all them goddamn buffalo in America to starve out certain of the Native Americans trying to conquer this land. Verse 32, it say, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hands. Yeah, because you ain't going to be able to get them back. In this picture, you got them on the auction block. They could have just had, your son up there, or your daughter up there. And it was going to be nothing you can do to get your son or your daughter back. They might want to sell you to another plantation. Your family's still back on the other plantation. You gone sold somewhere else, man. We are the Lord's chosen people, man. We are the Israelites. These curses apply to us and only us, man. Verse 33, it say, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, the so-called white man. And thou shalt be only oppressed and cursed always, man. And we still here to this day, oppressed and cursed always. Through different ways in this time. Different legislations. You know, different segregational practices Esau do behind the scene. Nigga know you black, he goddamn don't want to give you loans and different things of that nature. This nigga still oppressing us to this day, man. You sound like you're a black person. It's a good job on so-called Salaki. Yeah, but they still oppressing us to this day. I forgot what I was saying, but they still oppressing us to this day, man. You know, in all different means, it's a new age oppression. We ain't in hardcore bondage. We ain't getting our back whooped, you know, for the most part. We ain't, you know, but we still here oppressed. Verse 34, it says, so that thou shalt be mad that it says so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. And then the NIV it say the sights you see will drive you mad. Yeah, because you seeing your people in this dumbed down, low, you know, fucked up situation, it make you mad. Let's see what the word for that mad. And it's just mad, you know, to be mad, you know, to show madness. Yeah, because when you see this, you should be mad, man. When you watch a slave movie, that shit should piss you the fuck off, man. You know, that should make you want to see these devils go through what you went through. You know, and Esau won't even let you niggas make a goddamn a movie where they being enslaved. Like that movie Cracker. That shit ain't even allowed to be played in America. But you can watch Django, Roots, and all these other different movies, man. I think the one movie Without Sanctuary, and that movie, that boy, if I'm thinking of the right movie, that old ass movie Without Sanctuary, oh my goodness. And you Edomites, you gotta pay, man. You gotta pay. That's why America is circling the drain. That's why you devils fighting against each other. If Satan is divided against Satan, his kingdom shall not stand. This kingdom is very divided. It's like, yo. Slacking about that. Where I'm at. Oh. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30. 36. It say, and the Lord shall smite thee in the knee and in the leg with a sore and with a blotch that cannot be healed, for the from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. Verse 36, and the Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone. That's here in America, man. For sure, which it happened in other different captivities, but for sure happened here in America, man. It say, and thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among the nations. Negro, Latino, Native American, Spic, Wetback, Savage, Indian, Puerto Rican, all these different names, man. Derogatory terms and shit. Among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. And these other nations hate you too, man. Don't think you gonna go to another nation and you ain't gonna experience racism, segregation. Motherfucker don't want you, look at you like you're a criminal. Which it go both ways when you leave America, because you got some people these heathen be amazed at our different looks and traits, our hair, they love it, but then you gonna have, some of these, they just gonna hate you, man. They gonna want to see, they gonna show right, and they do it here in America, man. They have a disdain for you, man. These nations don't like us. They despise us. Verse 38, it say, thou shalt carry much seed out unto the field, and thou shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Which this probably, going to curses when we had our own land, our own vineyards, our own cattle. When we were somewhat sovereign, these things were happening to us as a nation. Even when we were sovereign, we were still under the curses, or when we were contributors to the nation, like when we were, in the land. We still cursed. We were still going through different curses. You had a 40-year period where we had a period of peace and things were flowing. And that was during the King Solomon, man. It say, thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. It say, thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine oil shall cast its fruits. Verse 41, it say, thou shalt begat sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. And that happened during slavery. You were having sons and daughters and you wasn't able to enjoy them. That happened during slavery. That happened during all the different empires. Your sons and daughters were stripped from you, sold into slavery. And it definitely happened in this time we living in now, during the transatlantic slave trade, man. Having children, and once your children get a certain age, they send them to another plantation, man. At the age of 7 and 8, or 5, 6. It say, all thy trees, verse 42, all thy trees and the fruit of thy land, the locust shall consume. Verse 43, it say, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low, going into the heathen and all the other nations, man. They very high above us, man, and we very low as a people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites, you know. Verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be thy head, and thou shalt be the tail. Or he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, meaning chase you, follow you, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he command thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. And this how we know we the Lord chosen people. The Lord say these things are going to be upon you for a sign and for a wonder. I wonder why we went into slavery. I wonder why we getting the shit in the stick. I wonder why we underneath these heathen, and we stronger people. We are stronger people than them. We better than them. We smarter than them. You know? Why we under them? It's a wonder why we going through the things we going through. And it's a wonder why we going through the curses. You don't understand you under the curses if you don't know who you are. You don't know the scriptures. But that's why the Lord set his men up to teach you. We are the Israelites. That's why you getting shot down in the street. You feel the prisons. You don't get a fair shake in America. White people, why the white man treat you like shit, man. Why these other nations despise you and look down upon you, whether it's the so-called Chinese, the African, East Indian, the Arabs. They despise you, man. Why? It's a wonder. I wonder why they like that. Because these curses on you. And the Lord got you in a lower state underneath these people, man. Where you supposed to be above them. But you will be above them when the Lord return and destroy this place and take these nations down. But 2/3 of our people going to be destroyed because they didn't turn back. They ain't repent and come back to this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But for the elect, we're going to be placed above these people again. We're going to be took back to our land, which is the land of Jerusalem, the land of Israel. And these other heathens that's occupying the land will be extracted through fire, man. The Lord going to set fire upon that place, man. It say, verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. What's going to be upon thee? The curses. And upon thy seed forever. Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness of heart and gladness of heart. And for the abundance of all things, all we had to do was serve the Lord for joyfulness and gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. The abundance of all things. That means, you over satisfied with things, man. You have more than the abundance of all things, mean you have more than enough. The Lord's going to make sure we have more than enough if we were to serve him with joyfulness and gladness of heart, keeping the law, statutes, commandments, doing what's right, man. Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and for the want of all things. You niggas fought in this man military for America to be created. You Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, I say you Negroes. Well, yeah, I'm going to say that. You Negro, well, I'm going to say you Negroes and you Natives. You fought in the man military for America to gain this independence, and you still gave the shit end of the stick and ran into reservations and placed through head first back into slavery after the war. You know? Hoping to be freed. It say, and hunger and thirst and nakedness and for the want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And you seen it in that video. He say bound, what he said, bound in chains and oppressed, man. We the Israelites, man. This didn't happen to the small hats over there in the land, man. They never have a time where they went through. No people on the earth went through more of fit these curses like we fit these curses, man. And that's that sign and wonder. That's how we know we the Lord's chosen people. Vocab Malone. Verse 49, it say, and the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And yeah, when the so-called conquistadors came over here, the Portuguese and Spaniards came over here, Jake, the Northern King may know what the hell them niggas was talking about, man. They ain't speak the language they spoke. That's why Cristobal Colon came with Hebrew interpreters, because he knew he was going to encounter the Lord's chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites, that were taken away in captivity underneath the Assyrian Empire. He knew that. When that movie 1492, he said he read the book of Esdras. Why he wanted to come, he wanted to go west, so to speak. Verse 50, it say, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor shew favor to the young. Yeah, that nigga didn't give a damn how old you were. You got your ass whooped, and you got put in the field. You got hung. You got raped. You know? You got your children snatched from you. He ain't give a damn. That nigga had little babies, goddamn 2-3-year-olds picking cotton, man, with a sack. And that's coming back in a big way on him. It say, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee neither corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flock, or thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. It say, and he shall besiege thee in all thy city, in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustedest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord Yahweh thy power have given thee. Yeah, during 70 AD, during the siege of Babylon. It say, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, and the flesh of thy sons and thy daughters, which the Lord Yahweh thy power have given thee in the siege. Yeah, cannibalism. And this accounts, different accounts of that happening during the siege of Babylon, during the siege of 70 AD. Because the Lord warned them niggas, when I see Jerusalem compassed about with armies, flee ye to the north. Going into the north, if they would have fled north, they would have been heading towards Egypt, fleeing into North Africa. Flee into the mountains and go in North Africa is a mountainous region. You know? So the Lord told them when Jerusalem can pass about with arms, you better flee to the north. It say, in the straightness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, And we living that right now at its maximum. A nigga eyes so evil towards his brother in the time we living in, the Lord finna fuck you niggas up for it, man. All you drill niggas, all you niggas, a nigga kill a nigga quick. A nigga torture a nigga, whoop his ass on some, and then you niggas doing it. Oh, he rep this set or that set. He from this block or that block. Oh, he from this neighborhood or that neighborhood. Oh, that's a Hispanic. Oh, he Mexican. You know? Back in verse 54, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead. And that's why our people lead in single father households. Just the man abandoning his family and, you know, having babies, just, you know, going family to family and leave and forsaking his family. Have a family and move fuck away, far away from what his responsibilities. Those the curses. Verse 55, it says, so that he will not give to any. It says, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left in him in the siege, and in the straightness wherewith thine enemies shall disgrace thee and all thy gates. Yeah, because in them sieges, people were committing cannibalism. If they were eating leather boot scraps and goddamn, you know, donkey heads and dung, you know they goddamn ate they fucking kids, man. They sacrificed their kids to Molech, you know. Was putting their kids in the fires and shit. You don't think these wicked motherfuckers gonna eat their kids, man? Because Jake was always wicked. Jake ain't stopped being wicked, you know. Jake was still worshiping idols. Jake was still doing all manners of evil in these times of trouble. They wasn't repenting and seeking the Lord like, Lord, what we doing wrong? No, Jake was continuously being wicked, man. Selling out in all manners of evil, man. You know, worshiping idols, all manners of wickedness, man. Still. And that's why the Lord say, why shall you be stricken anymore? Why shall I keep fucking you my children up, man? I got something for this. I got my elect gonna turn back to me. I'm gonna send the comforter down unto them, and they gonna repent and turn back to me. And these same wicked niggas who they gonna continue in their wickedness of old. The niggas from old gonna continue in their wickedness, and they gonna be destroyed, man. But my elect, that grape or that cluster, you know, they gonna repent and turn back to me, and I'm gonna save them. But 2/3 of my people in America gonna be destroyed, and the rebels that's scattered amongst the earth, they gonna be purged out, man, who don't want me to reign over them. That's what's getting ready to happen, man. Verse 56, it say, the tender and delicate woman among you, which will not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for very delicateness. And that's how low our women got. Now they barefoot fighting in the middle of the street, man, with their baby in their arm. That will not set the sole of her foot on the ground for very delicateness and tenderness. For tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. And oh boy, how these you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American women hate the men of your tribe. Toward her husband of her bosom, and toward her sons, and toward her daughters. And we see that daily, man. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for the want of all things secretly in the siege. And that happened, man. It's different accounts of those things happening. You know? And it's gonna happen again. Just watch. Just watch, goddamn. You gonna see niggas rotisserizing they children and shit, man. Why? Because they don't have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and they rejected it, man. So they're gonna be left out there. Because hey, a siege like event is getting ready to happen upon the masses of you Americans, man. Esau is creating a famine, man, and when it hit, it's gonna hit, man. The dollar is gonna crash. Inflation and hyperinflation is getting ready to come in. Inflation is already in. Shrinkflation is here. Hyperinflation gonna kick in when people start dumping the dollar and realizing that the dollar is worthless, man. And they keep printing money. It say, wherein thine enemies in the siege greatness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in the gates. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord Yahweh, thy power, when Yahweh will make the plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord Yahweh bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven. For stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy power. The Lord been plucking you niggas, man, destroying us. It say, and it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoice over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest possess. That's why we ain't in the land of Israel no more. You know? Yeah, and the Lord's like, shit, I would have did y'all good, but y'all ain't, rejoice over me doing y'all good and multiplying you. You niggas whack fat and kick. Just one whack fat and kick. Bucked up. Verse 64 is saying, the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, going into, these different idols. And Jesus Christ being one of them, the crucifix being that wood and the stone, that cobblestone, The Muslims, all the Muslims died this year going to the goddamn stone to bow down to it and kiss the ground, and motherfucker go to Jerusalem and kiss the wall and all that crazy shit, man. Jake just giving over to idols, man. Wood and stone. You worship the creature more than the creator. Things that have no life, things that didn't create you, you worship that. Verse 65, it say, and among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Yeah, and that's where we find ourselves. No matter where we go, man. Afraid, defeated through, always worried about goddamn a nation coming up against you, and you get pulled though, you spook, think you finna goddamn motherfucker might fuck you up. You gotta watch where you at in the earth, cause goddamn you might be in an area where ain't nothing but Edomites said, and it's dark, and these devils can disappear your ass. Sundown towns and shit. And that shit still exists, man, in small portions of the city. I mean, of the United States, man. You get caught in the wrong spot here in Alabama or Mississippi, man, and think these devils want to make you disappear, man. You got life fucked up if you think that. If they catch you right. Need little different small country towns and shit where it ain't nothing but Edomites. Play with them devils, man. And nothing but Edomites and woods and acres of woods and goddamn rivers with alligators and shit. You play with them devils. Have your ass strung up on a tree. Verse 66, it say, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and thou shalt have no assurance of thy life. Yeah, because at any day, any moment, we can die, man. We need different hoods and shit, and Jake just ruthless. You gotta worry about your own people killing you. You gotta worry about your woman. If you have one, you gotta worry about goddamn your brother around the corner. These young niggas, young wild niggas. You worried about everybody goddamn knocking your goddamn head off. Your family, a family member getting mad at you. Verse 67, they say, in the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning, for fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eye which thou shalt see. I'm gonna read it in the NIV. It say, in the morning you will say, if only it were evening, and in the evening, if only it were morning, because of the terror that will fill your hearts and the sights that your eyes will see. Yeah, when we were going through a hardcore abundance, that's how they was, man. Damn, I wish if only it were morning. If only it were evening. Just hoping that the shit be over, whatever they were going through, man. Getting the muscle worked off the bone, man. Literally, man. Esau was fucking us up, man. Verse 68, it say, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt. And we know all Egypt mean is house of bondage, man. Exodus 2 and 20, or Exodus 20 and 2. It say, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof, and this place where we at now is spiritually known as spiritually Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified, meaning X'd out in the book of Revelation. So we were brought here into Egypt. America is Egypt, the modern day Egypt, again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemy for bond men and bond women, and no man shall buy you. And that no man shall buy you, let's get it, we in the blue letter. That buy you right there going to redeem. It's not talking about literally buy you. See, when you go down here to the Strongs, it say a root primitive to erect, i.e. create, by extension to procure, especially by purchase, cats, I don't know how to say that, sell, by implications, to own, attain by, which we were sold, teach, to keep cattle, get, provoke to jealousy, possessors, purchase, recover, redeem. Nobody's gonna redeem us from out of this captivity, man. And that's ultimately what it means. It's a of God, originating, creating, redeeming his people. That's what by you mean. You know? It ain't talking about to get, acquire, obtain, because we were bought by the nations. We were bought by Esau, Edom. But it's saying that what it's ultimately saying is no man was gonna redeem us up out of the situation we in. That's why we are yet this day in our captivity, where we are subject to payments. Yep. So that's pretty much the point of that. And you see it right there. Where they at? On the slave ship. Where they at? On auction blocks being sold for bond men and bond women. And nobody redeemed us from the hands of these Edomites. Nobody. We still underneath these devils. They got social security cards. You born into debt to these people, man. That debt that they creating. Why? Because we are slaves up underneath them still. We're not free. We're not independent. We're not sovereign. We still here serving out the remainder of our punishment. But this is the end. Like the Lord say, the scriptures say, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. This the end of our punishment. Jacob's trouble is the end of our punishment and the beginning of Esau's punishment. You know? Because after this time like never was, there was a nation, and Lord willing, we're part of that number and be delivered. Guess what? It's over with. When this economy crash, we on our way out. Our temptation, this is it. We overcome this, we got the victory, man. We overcome that mark, we got the victory. We beamed up in them ships, that's the victory, man. This the book of Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. It say, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemy in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. And they trusted that this man was gonna grant them their independence, fighting in his army. And trusteth in man and make a flesh of his arms, in whose heart departed from the Lord Yahweh. And that's what our people done continually, generation after generation after generation. But the Lord raised up his elect in these last days to turn back unto him and finish the work that Yahweh Shai was doing back in the disciples and the true believers back then, to finish the course, finish the work of Yahweh, you know. And that's what we here today doing, you know, preaching repentance to our people to come back to the Lord before this great day of judgment come. But 2/3 of our people, they not gonna hearken. Let me get that precept. Sodom children. Yeah, because 2/3 of our people not gonna hearken. And good riddance, man. This the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4 and verse 22. It say, "For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children," meaning stupid. "And they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge." And we here teaching what doing good is. We here teaching knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Warning you of what the Lord finna do. Warning you why we went through what we went through and why we here today suffering, catching hell, living in the hoods, living in apartments, living in, messed up situations. Why your father left you as a child. Why your mother hates you. Why you don't get a fair shake in this place. We here teaching our people those things, man, but they stupid and they don't want to hearken unto the voice of the Lord, their power, man. Because that's what we coming to bring you. We coming to bring you words of the Lord. We bringing you messages from the Lord week in, week out, day in, day out. These are warnings from the Lord. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to end it giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone, Rule Web, and a great example to his younger brothers in the truth. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect, Shalom, Kwam Yashala, and the Baba, and that's what our ancestors were doing 4th of July, 1776. Shalom.